Hey, welcome back to Enigmatica 2, where in the last video, we set up all of this magic mod stuff. We've got a celestial altar, and all of the stuff in Britannia to make Terra Steel, and a portal to Alfheim for Elementium. Since last time, I managed to gather enough mana to be able to turn the portal on, and it should be stable in this state until I start throwing items through it. And I've also just got a bunch of mana here in case I need more Terra Steel, which I'm probably going to need quite a lot of soon. Also, since last time, I've left the upgraded Void Miner running for quite a while, and I should now have a lot of all the crystals. And that's going to be especially applicable, because as I've been leaving this on its own, I've noticed that my power here is just kind of terrible. It's not in a good state right now because I just don't have much fuel for it. I don't know why, I can't seem to get the mob farm to be able to output enough of either blazes or blizzes. I've messed with the balancing down here to see how many blizzes I spawn, how many blazes I spawn, and I just can't find a good balance, and it's not good. I don't like this power anymore. So the first thing in this video, I would like to upgrade my power. And I think the best way is going to be with the solar panels, because this one's been out of commission for a bit, and I haven't even got the second one yet. And I should have enough crystals to be able to do that. I might be able to take them to tier 3, but even having 2 tier 2 solar panels is going to be a huge upgrade. So I just want to get that out of the way before we get back into the magic stuff. So I'm just going to make another tier 1 solar array. And I'll make sure first and foremost that I can get 2 tier 1s. Okay, I've got enough to be able to make that second solar array, and also to repair the first one. But before I set it up, I'm going to see if I can upgrade this to tier 2. I should have enough Erodium. And how much bigger is it? 5 by 5. So I need to get 50 Erodium solar cells, which I can do. And then it would be 48 surrounding frames, and I still have enough Erodium for that. Then to upgrade the controller, I'm going to need 8 Erodium blocks, and some of the solar cells. So I've got enough to upgrade one of them. Just need to make another 8 solar cells, and there we go. That's me running out of Erodium. Ah, nearly there. But I should have enough to be able to set up both of the solar arrays, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, you can still use tier 2 frames and cells. So I'm just going to get this first solar array set up, the tier 2 one. And then with what I've got left, I can make the second solar array. So the first one is now making 9,600 FE per tick, almost enough to power the Void Miner on its own. And the second one is making a little over 1,000. So combined, they're enough to cover the cost of the Void Miner, which is basically where all of my power is going right now. So then if I disconnect the solar panels from the rest of the machinery, and also disconnect the Void Miner from the other base. So now, as long as it's daytime, I should be able to run the Void Miner at full capacity without having to waste the power I generate over here. I am just going to put the magenta laser lens in so that I can get some Erodium quicker. Also, if I've already got some Chironite, why not upgrade the cells? Should be reasonably cheap. I can just convert all 46, I guess, because I need to make some more Erodium cells anyway. Yeah, I've got plenty of Chironite for that. This should be a pretty significant upgrade. Not really, actually. I'm only getting about 2,000 more FE per tick on the tier 2, and 200 more on the tier 1. Okay, so increasing the tier does do more than the panels, but it's still an increase to have the Chironite cells. Anyway, that's that out of the way. I'll go back to it later once I've got enough Erodium. For now, I want to finish what we started last time, which was the Master Infusion Crystal. So then, what here can I get easily? I've only got 2 resonating gems, which means I might need to set up Starlight Infusion, but that's not too bad. I can make the sparks fairly easily. Mana pearls are also very easy. Then I'm going to need a lot of mana steel and mana diamonds, so that I can turn them into blocks. And I think it's 2 mana steel blocks to get 1 elementium. So that's that. Ender Amethyst I don't actually have in here. It has to be mining in the end. Makes sense. So maybe I can move the laser to the end? I don't know, it's a bit difficult to bring power in there. So I'll just wait until I've got more power, which is building up a lot faster than I thought it would. But once I've got enough, I can take the laser drill to the end. In the meantime, I've got some runes to make. Annoyingly, these are probably 4 of the most annoying runes to make, because they all need other runes, which themselves need other runes. But I can do this. Oh, wait a minute. I got those runes back? Maybe this isn't going to be so annoying. I was expecting to need to make a bunch of, like, runes of fire or water or whatever. Okay. Well, there's the rune of autumn down. That means I can make the rune of sloth. With some saplings and wheat, I can make a rune of spring, to then get a rune of greed. Then with some sand, slime, and a melon, I can make a rune of summer, for the rune of pride. Then with cake, wool, and snow, I can make a rune of winter, to then make the rune of gluttony. And that should be every rune that I need. I've got almost all of the runes in the game. Then with the rest of my mana, I'm just gonna make Terra Steel. And this is gonna take a long time. So I'm not gonna be doing it all in one go, but I'm just gonna make another Terra Steel every time I've got more mana. And I know there's an easier way I could be doing it. I could try recycling Terra Steel armor I get out of the mob farm. Ooh, I did actually find some Terra Steel armor. But I've massively improved the storage here, and I've emptied it 4 or 5 times now, and this is the only piece of Terra Steel that I've found. And every time I've separated out the Elementium and the Mana Steel as well, and I've got a decent amount of that in some of my pack as well, but I've only found 1 piece of Terra Steel. So that'll help. That'll shave off 7 ingots, but it's gonna take a bit to get the Terra Steel out of it. Ah, no, it only gives me 3 ingots. That's a pain. Well, still helpful. And I'll recycle any extra Terra Steel I find. But I'm gonna need an arc furnace to be able to recycle it, and an arc furnace is kind of expensive. But if that's what it takes, then I'll do it. So, I should be able to get the Terra Steel. This is gonna take a while. The Ender Amethyst, I'll get onto in a bit. The Resonating Gem, I only need 2 more, so I have a bit of a Hail Mary here. There's a lot of quests that I've forgotten to cash in. So, hopefully I can get something from the loot crates. Didn't think so. I did get an Axe of the Wyvern, though. That's pretty good. Well, I'm gonna have to get the Starlight Infuser. It's not that bad. I just need to make another altar. I am just gonna need a lot of liquid starlight, though. So, I'm gonna get that going. So, all the stuff to make the infuser itself is fairly easy. It's just a bunch of marble. And I've already got the Celestial Altar, so that makes things much easier. But this infuser is gonna need its own multi-block. And it's not too big, but I'm gonna need to go get a bunch more marble. So I'm just gonna break down some of these fountains. And most of the multi-block is fairly simple. The only real thing of note here is the lapis under the Starlight Infuser, and the liquid starlight all the way around the altar itself. So this should be functional now, if only it wasn't daytime. It might still work. Yes, it does. I guess it just needs me to make sure that all of this starlight is full. And it just works. Okay. So now I'm very close to this infusion crystal. I'm still a bit short on mana, so I think I'll go get that Ender Amethyst. I'm just going to steal the energy cell and the laser drill. Ooh, and I was about to make my way over to the end portal, but I've just realized going mining in the end raw is probably not a good idea. So I'm going to see if I can get some lenses to help. Pink slime. It might not be as hard to do this time if I can just do this. Okay, good. You know, I might just leave it in there, because why not have a big backlog of pink slime? Okay, 7 pink slime. That's enough for 1 lens. I wonder if it's worth waiting to get a second one. I've got a second one. Am I lucky enough to get a third? No, I only got 10. Oh well, 2 lenses is still pretty good. There we go. That should be a decent help. Let's see what I can do. Okay, back to the end. If the dragon's not here, it should be significantly easier for me to do this. I can just set this up off to the side here. It should, yeah, it's got line of sight to the void. Annoyingly, I didn't bring enough energy conduits. So I'm only going to have 3 of the drills running, but that's fine. Huh. I guess I can't set up conduits to extract. Well, let's set this going, see what happens. I'm just going to run it until I run out of power, basically, and hopefully get an ender amethyst along the way. There we go. Literally the first one. Oh, wait. There's a chance it's the only one that I can actually get. Oh no, I can get oil sand as well. But at height 0, in the end, there is not that much. Well, I could continue to run this, just to get as many ender amethysts as I need. But I'm not really going to need that many, I don't think. And it's fairly easy to come back and get them again. So yeah, I'm just going to leave with what I've got. So I can grab my ender amethysts, and I can fill out 1 more slot. Now, how's the terrasteel going? I found a terrasteel chest plate, but it seems like this hasn't been loaded for very long. Maybe the slaughter factory is just stealing kills. Well, that's still 1 more piece of terrasteel. That's enough to save 3 more ingots. And how am I doing in terms of mana? Enough to get 1 more ingot. But it's going to be a while before I can get enough mana for 1 more ingot. And I think that's probably going to come before I get another terrasteel armor piece in mob farm. So I reckon the last thing to do is I need to make an arc furnace to be able to actually recycle the terrasteel armor. And this is quite expensive, so just take it 1 block at a time. So first of all, I'm going to need to get a lot of steel. While I wait, I can get some of the smaller things. I'm going to need quite a lot of steel sheet metal. I need 14 slabs and 8 blocks. Then I need 6 blocks of steel. Then 5 steel scaffolding. And now I just need the engineering blocks. I have a spare heavy, but I still need all the others. I need 4 more of the heavies, and I can nearly craft that. I just need a recipe for the plates, and then I can make those. Then the light engineering blocks are possibly more of a pain, actually. But I can still make those. Right, that should be everything for the arc furnace. And then I think I'm going to come all the way back to this building to put the arc furnace, because it kind of fits with the rest of the immersive stuff. And I think I'll put it here, where the IC2 stuff was, because it's all gone. I hope these blocks of steel are okay, and I don't need to chisel them into the ones from immersive. I guess we'll find out soon enough. I've just realized I can probably just connect the conduits through the back. I'll be fine. Okay, that should be the whole structure. Oh, not quite. That's why I've got some spare sheet metal. There! I'm just going to quickly connect this into power. I'm really hoping the culinary can keep up, but I don't think it can. Now I just need to get some graphite electrodes. So for that I just need, for the 3 electrodes, 12 hop graphite, 8 coke dust each. Just crush a load of coal coke. So I'll just put a load of coal coke in the sag mill, and I can put that in a manufactory to turn it into hop graphite. Then I can press it into rods. They are all at 50% integrity though. It's not that hard to get some more rods. And then I can just repair them there. Right, so let's see. Oh, that actually just goes really quick. I guess my power can keep up. Barely. Well, I've got 8 terrasteel now. I just need the 1 more ingot, but I don't quite have enough mana to do that. I guess I can kill a bit of time. I guess I can upgrade that solar array while I wait. So now they're both tier 2. And how far am I from getting tier 3? Probably quite far, given I'm missing a lot of chironite. Well, I'm just going to go back to a clear lens then, because I'm still going to need a lot of litherite and iridium to be able to make more frames and solar panels. Okay, I think now I've barely got enough mana for this, so let's see. There's the final terrasteel ingot that I can turn into a block of terrasteel, and then I can finish everything in the altar, and is that not what I need? Oh, I had things in the wrong spot. I just need to wait until it's more nighttime so I can get enough starlight. And I should have enough starlight. Yes, just barely. There we go. Master Infusion Crystal. Probably the hardest way to start mystical agriculture, but if you're doing anything in that mod, you need the Master Infusion Crystal. I think as for the choice reward, the Infusion Crystal is useless. It's only got 25 uses? That's terrible. I am so glad I got the Master Infusion Crystal. A block of prosperity. I've already got tons of prosperity ore from the laser drill, so tier 2 Inferium seeds. Why not? And I don't think there's a page for mystical agriculture. Right. So now I can start working towards those draconium seeds. Although I do not have time to do anything about that in this video. But I do think I've still got a little bit of time left. And there is one thing that I've been meaning to do for quite a while. And that is to make this Verdant Heart Charm. Preferably the Sustainer type. Because if I remember rightly, that basically just feeds me. So I need the base Heart Charm, which is fairly simple. That needs a fancy amulet, which needs a little bit of Botania. But the mundane amulet is where it really comes in, because that needs red string, which needs pixie dust. I don't know why there's two different recipes here, and one takes a pumpkin and the other doesn't, but I'm just gonna do this recipe. I should have gotten some ender air while I was in the end. I can go back. So I'm just gonna have to put a bit more mana into the Elven Gateway, because something about me going to the end kinda disabled it, and it already drained the mana, so I can't turn it back on again. And while I wait for that mana, I'm just gonna make everything else that I need for this. A lot of the ingredients I need are fairly simple, just Vis crystals or other Thorncraft things. And there is one interesting thing. I need to take a bunch of different kinds of meat and throw them in the Infernal Furnace, and I should get nuggets? I only got fish nuggets. Let me try putting more meat in. So then, if I take one of each nugget plus sugar, or one of 3 different nuggets, that gives me the triple meat treat. That's the other thing I need for the Sustainer part of the charm. Oh, why is the portal lit? Came back to get some more mana-infused string. Okay, I guess as long as it's lit, I can get the pixie dust. Okay, I should now have everything I need to get the Sustainer Heart Charm. All I'm missing is the Ender Air. But for that, I'm of course going to have to go all the way back to the end. And while I'm here, all I do is just right-click with it, empty bottles. So now I can make all of that red string to then make 2 mundane amulets. Put one of them away. Then I can turn one of them into a fancy amulet. And then I need to turn it into a heart charm. So I need to grab my Victus, my Herba, and my Ordo. Then I can set up this infusion. And I should be fine. This is a very stable altar. There we go. There's the Verdant Heart Charm. Then to give it the Sustainer properties, I need to grab my Desiderium and my Air. And I should be able to do this infusion as well. There we go. This does need a Vis Charm. Or charge, rather. I think. Oh, there's no Vis in the chunk. But I'm going to need to keep that charged. So I'm going to need to get an Amulet of Vis. I should be able to do this. The hard part here, I think, is going to be getting the Essentia to do this infusion. But I think all I should be missing is Vacuos. Looks like I can get a decent amount of Vacuos just out of bowls. That's pretty cheap. So I'll just do, why not, a whole stack. Oh, and I actually ended up getting 250 Vacuos. Okay, that is absolutely enough. Okay, I should have what I need now to be able to do this. And I trust that the infusion is going to go well, so is hoping for the best. There we go. Still saying very stable. So that went well. So now, I should be able to just put this on anywhere. And is it going to work? Maybe have to be in a chunk with Vis. Here's one. Yeah, there we go. And it seems to have filled up my hunger bar. Yeah, it just fills it. So I shouldn't need to eat anymore. Ooh, unless it drains my nutrition. If it counts as nutritionless food, then that could be very bad. I'm going to test it a bit. If I take damage, it should drain my saturation and force me to eat a bit more. Yeah, my nutrition does go down. Ah, okay. This might not be as good as I thought it would be. Well, I'm still going to have a lot of delighted meals. So if I need to get my nutrition up, I can just unequip it and eat some. So I should be fine. I'll just hang on to some meals in my backpack. But I think I can go without food for a while because of this. Anyway, I think that's as good a note as any to finish the video on. Those two things I've been meaning to get basically since I got Infusion set up in Thaumcraft. I just haven't really found the time. So I'm glad to get that done. As for the actual progress in this video, we did a bit more Astral, a bit more Britannia, and finally got that Master Infusion Crystal. So next time, we can start getting into some mystical agriculture, and maybe go all the way to the Draconium Seeds? I don't know, I do need an iridescent altar. And that takes a decent amount of stuff. I should be able to do it though. We'll see. I'll look into it more next time. But soon, should be able to get Draconium Seeds, and I can start doing Draconic Evolution. But for now, I think I've made enough progress for this video. So I'm going to call the video here. Bye.